breaking the fourth wall.
Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome to the Dirt Sheet Radio NXT post-show rewind for May 14th, 2024. I am Tyler, the pro wrestling hipster, coming at you solo again tonight. Unfortunately, due to some technical difficulties, CJ couldn't make it in this evening, but hopefully we'll have him back on with us next week. Before we get into the proceedings tonight, I would like to say that we are brought to you in part by our partner in crime and on the internet, comicbookclick.com, comicbookclick.com/dirtsheetradio for all the wrestling news, up-to-the-date information, and everything you could ever want, and more pop culture, comic book information. Make it your homepage. Check it out multiple times a day. We all do, and not just because we're legally obligated to do so, which we aren't. We do it because we love it. We do it because we love it. But I am Tyler, the pro wrestling hipster, the pro wrestling hipster over on Facebook, at PW Hipster, pretty much everywhere else. But we're here tonight to talk about NXT. And tonight's main event was for the Heritage Cup, and we saw the Dom, Tony D'Angelo, taking on Heritage Cup champion Charlie Dempsey without Myles, Borne, or excuse me, without the other members of the No Quarter Catch crew, as they were kidnapped, I guess. Wrestler napped is what I've been saying most of the day, because I don't know what words will make Facebook take things down and just, get them botted away very quickly. But in a shock, I think, to most, Tony D'Angelo captures the Heritage Cup tonight live on NXT. I did not see that coming. I don't think most folks did, but it was one hell of a match. Fantastic. I think Tony D'Angelo really showed something when he had his NXT title match about a month or so ago, and they're riding that and they're capitalizing on that. He's come a long way in the ring and as a character, and it'll be cool to see what they do with him here, holding that. In a weird way, it kind of feels like the entirety of the No Quarter Catch crew is being punished for the crimes of one Gulak, but we'll see what they have for them going forward. Maybe a little regrouping, rebranding for them. But it was a solid match, good showing from both men. But we didn't have a lot of time to focus on the victory that was had by the Don tonight, as after the match, as the show was going off air, we saw backstage Ivar, Wes Lee, Josh Briggs, all the men vying for Oba Femi's North American title, all laid out. The perpetrators, the attackers, Gallus makes their return tonight on NXT. They've been off for quite some time. I think since they'd tangled with Joe Gacy, they hadn't been on NXT. So really cool to see them back tonight, and a big surprise. Good crowd pop for them too, as they saw them pop up on the screens tonight. But fantastic to see them make their return. But yes, again, big surprise there. Big surprise. But I will go ahead and hop around to the start of tonight's show here, getting back to the front of my notes. All right. So tonight's show opened up with Noam Dar laid out backstage. No clue who the attacker was. I think we could perhaps make an assumption that it was Gallus, as they had laid out other folks at the end of the show tonight. Got a couple other little theories on that as well, but we'll touch on that here in a little bit. But that was the open of the show, and he was to face Javon Evans this evening, and that, of course, put that match in jeopardy. And we'll touch on that just in a little bit here as to what was to happen with that match. After that, we had a quick video package hyping the women's North American title situation with the Combine last week and the matches that would take place this evening. Now, speaking of which, the first match we had tonight was going to be between Izzi Dame and Sol Ruca. Before they made their entrances, Izzi Dame was getting hyped up by her good friend Kiana James backstage. Kiana James no longer on NXT, drafted up during the draft this year. But still there for her friend. It's nice to see that even heels stick up for one another. Even heels have friends. It's very touching. We live in a very happy pro wrestling world, a very healthy Hickenbottom High. But we had Sol Ruca taking on Izzi Dame in a qualifying match for the Women's North American Championship. And Sol Ruca picks up the win here in just about 6 minutes with a Soul Snatcher in a fantastic match. Sol Ruca looks great every single week, improving every single week, and earns her rightful spot in that ladder match taking place at Battleground here in June. This was one that I wasn't 100% going in who would win, but I was glad that Sol won. And I know if CJ were here right now, CJ would also voice his joy that Sol Ruca won this match and made her way into that ladder match. All right, moving on backstage, we had Ava berating the family for their actions last week, taking a referee, snatching him into an ice chest, wrestle napping two wrestlers last week, and she was going to fine them. That's right. She fined them for kidnapping two men and technically a referee, because I mean they did lock him into a cooler. Like this was detaining someone against their will. These are crimes, Ava. These are crimes. These are federal crimes. This isn't okay. And this is you're in Florida. Like they're pretty quick with litigation down there. So like you might just want to get the authorities involved now and stop fining them. But hey, the family, they're team players, if nothing else, and they gladly paid the $20,000 fine with a little bit extra there for the GM. So throw bribery of an official. I guess she's not like an elected official or anything, but bribery of an official also being thrown onto their ever-growing stack of crimes. But I guess that is the gimmick, right? I mean, it's it's kind of a cartoony Sopranos. So that is where we are with the family right now. But making our way back to the ring, OTM made their entrance for a tag team match against Idris, Enofe, and Malik Blade. Of course, OTM with Jada Parker. I love that's the focus. Jada's the focus, and we've said this on the show before, but Jada kind of is OTM right now. But tag match tonight, pretty good. A lot longer than I expected it to be. It went just over 10 minutes. And OTM picks up the win here. And, it's just continuing the story that Idris and Malik just cannot pick up a win to save their life. Is it bad luck? Is it a lack of skill? Is it their manager? Is it the perhaps toxic positivity of Brindley Reese? Who knows? But they can't win. They can't pick a win. But OTM picks up a win here. Looked good. Looked strong. A lot of big power moves from the two. But yeah, like I said, just about 10 minutes here. The exact time, 10 minutes, 45 seconds is what I'm showing here with an assisted suplex spinebuster. Looked good. Looked strong. But yeah. But again, also nice that it continues a ongoing story. All right, so moving from the match backstage, we had Noam Dar in the trainer's room, writhing in pain, nursing the shoulder, talking to his good friends there, Aura, Chikara, and Lash. And he was concerned. And, he, and others were suggesting that the attack was probably by Trick Williams. And, of course, Lash defending Trick. She's not going to hear any negative things to be said about her Trick Willy Wonka, as she likes to call him, apparently. Allegedly. We don't have that confirmed. It's allegedly. But they were discussing that, what kind of timetable he was going to have on the injury. And the trainer said there is no timetable. Noam Dar's out indefinitely. But Oro, being the gentleman he is, told his good friend that he would step up tonight and he would take that match with Javon Evans that would be taking place later that evening. And Lash wanted to stand there and talk about things, but her match was up next. So she didn't have time to stand around and talk. So Lash had to head out to the ring. So up next, we had Lash Legend with Jakara Jackson taking on Ivy Nile in a qualifying match for the North American Championship. So Lash just with Jakara, as I said, Meta-4 a little preoccupied with everything going on. So I guess the Meta-2 out there for this match this evening. Good match. Short, under 4 minutes, but Lash Legend picks up the win here to advance to the ladder match, which was the right thing to do here. As much as I like to see former NXT talent that is on the main roster make appearances down in NXT, it's wonderful. I don't really like to see them get the wins over the NXT talent regularly. Ivy Nile is a Raw wrestler at this point. So while it's cool to have her down there, it gives a good rub to Lash. Ivy's a very strong worker. But the right woman won here, and Lash moves on to that ladder match. We say this a lot here. Big things for Lash in the future. Just such a great look, improving in the ring week by week. And again, good match, short, but good nonetheless. All right. So backstage, we had Javon Evans making his way down the hall and was met by Schreiber. And she asked if he was the one that attacked Noam Dar. He was taken aback by the question and said he doesn't know about that, but he's up next and it's about to get bouncy, which I've heard worse phrases in wrestling than it's about to get bouncy. But let's work on that. Let's shop. Let's workshop some better catchphrases. I don't think that's going to be on a T-shirt. I don't know. I don't think I could wear a shirt that says it's going to get bouncy. Then again, I'm wearing a shirt that says that's not fair to Flair. So what do I know? Coming back from the break, we had Ava outside of her office talking to Carly Bright, setting up for a match she would have later this evening. And they're just creeping in Ava's office. Tatum Paxley, love it. I love the angle. I've said this before on the show. This character for Tatum is just so much fun, and she's clearly having a blast doing it, and she's doing it very, very well. But being a big old creeper in there, and Ava never made it into her office tonight, so don't know what Tatum was waiting for, but hopefully we'll find out a little bit more next week as her creeping continues. I feel like there's always got to be some character that's just like spooky in the background, whether it's Tatum, it's Joe Gacy. Like there's always someone doing that. And Joe got called up to the main roster, so Tatum's got to be the resident, I guess, Heidi person. I don't know. But it's fun. Had a good time. Saw it there. Definitely a meme-worthy moment as NXT delivers those pretty much every week as well. But that is going to take us to our next match. Javon Evans, the young OG, taking on Oro Minza. It was originally scheduled to be Noam Dar, but taking on Oro Minza as Noam Dar was not cleared to wrestle tonight with Jakara Jackson at his side. Great match. Javon Evans, we've talked about, guys that are high flyers that seem to just move with no regard for the laws of physics whatsoever. Pac is the man that gravity forgot. I don't think gravity was ever even introduced to Javon Evans. Ever. Like, the man was birthed. Gravity was unaware of him even existing. Didn't even know him to forget him. Just the dude floats. He doesn't jump. He doesn't leap. He floats from place to place. It is absolutely outstanding. He is just phenomenal already, and he is 20 years old. 20 years old, and this athletically skilled already. Sky's the limit. We say that about so much talent at NXT, but by God, it's true. It's true. But Javon Evans picks up the win here in 10 minutes and 11 seconds with a double springboard corkscrew splash. That was, of course, after a little bit of a distraction. Lash Legend was grabbing a chair and was going to interfere on behalf of her teammate until Trick Willy Wonka came out there and distracted her from distracting and interfering, which allowed Javon to get the clean win here. Count that as a clean win, and he raised Javon's hand after the match, as you saw there, putting him over as well, which was fantastic to see. But great match. I will say this: it's like I don't know if they did the switcheroo here because they didn't want Noam Dar to lose, but they also didn't want Javon to lose so early in his career here in NXT. But man, it's rough for Oro because I don't know the last time Oro Menza won a singles match. If anybody in the chat or out there, anybody knows, and you could pop on and tell me, please do. I don't remember the last time he won, but he's kind of like the perpetual fall guy at this point, which is unfortunate because he's talented. And that match was fantastic. Bell to bell, just nonstop action, lots of high flying fun. Just good time. But moving on from there, we had backstage Kelly Kincaid interviewing Charlie Dempsey, asking how he felt affected with the no catch clause not being in effect tonight, as it was just him. His partners had been wrestled now, as discussed earlier. But yeah, again, just setting up for the main event that took place later tonight that we discussed here at the top of the show. All right, coming back, we had Wes Lee make his way to the ring to cut a promo, and this was one of the kind of obligatory professional wrestling tropes that we got into here. On his way to the ring, talked about the surgery he had that, got him back in the ring, how he thought he'd be out more than a year if he would ever be back at all, and how quick the recovery was and how grateful he was to the doctors. And then he, as happens in professional wrestling, was interrupted by Oba Femi, the current and reigning defending North American champion. Oba made his way to the ring, talked about how, he actually likes Wes. He respects Wes, but he can't just have a title match. He can't just have a title match. He told Wes he has to do what he does best, and that's earn it. And then we're interrupted again. This time by Ivar. But hey, at least it was Ivar not dressed as a Viking. I like normal dude Ivar presentation on NXT. I wish he would wrestle as the normal dude on NXT. But Ivar came out, and again, he, kind of said nice things about Wes Lee. Said that he actually had a similar injury that almost took him out. In fact, they had the same doctor. He gave a shout out to Dr. Cordova. So hey, shout out to Dr. Cordova. Doing this amazing work, getting these guys back in the ring, healthy to work. But also making his intentions and desire for the North American title clear, just to be interrupted by Josh Briggs, who said they're in a pickle. Man, it was really, really great promo with really strong delivery until someone says you're in a pickle. That's not a great line. It's not suffer and succotash bad, but it's not good. But Josh Briggs made his intentions clear to get a shot at the North American title, and they all asked for a fatal four-way at Battleground. Oba's too smart for that, which I like. I like Oba's walking that line between face and heel. He denies the fans what they want in some regard, so that makes him heelish, but he's a smart heel. And you gotta love a smart heel that does not easily get goaded into a situation he shouldn't be in the first place. He refuses fatal four-way, tells the three of them to fight it out amongst themselves, and that will determine who gets that shot at Battleground. So we will be having some sort of conflict going forward between those three men to determine who will get that shot against Oba Femi. I will say that's a rough call. A multi-man match was where I thought they were going with this for sure, and they still could go that way. We've got a few weeks here before Battleground takes place, so time will tell on that. Because man, between those three, I'm not really sure who I would most like to see. The Wes Lee match would be great. Just such a mesh of different styles there. The large power offense of Oba Femi, and of course the quick speed, agility, and high flying of Wes would be great. And also Wes would just create so much movement and sell his ass off for Oba. Him and Ivar, big meaty men slapping meat. Shout out to Caesar, it's a couple meat planets. Again, that would be just a fun, hard-hitting match. Same thing with Josh Briggs. I'd probably put Josh at the bottom of those three. But a lot of that just has to do with, I don't know. I feel like his character is a little more chilly than the others. But hey, he's an NXT guy, so that should bump him ahead of Ivar, um, consistently in my head. But we'll see going forward who among them, one or many, get that title shot at the PLE. One of these days, the urge to say pay-per-view will vanish from my head completely, but today is not that day. All right, so backstage we had backstage was really more of like a little kitchenette area. We had Lexis King approach some folks back there. Jasmine Nix was getting a get well soon card together for her good friend JC Jane, who got her nose broken a couple weeks ago. Everyone was refusing to sign it, which is pretty rude. I mean, I don't really understand what most of the roster would have against JC. She helped chase you for the most part. I mean, yeah, she made some money and ended up, turning on her friends and hurting people physically and emotionally in the process. But I mean, come on, doesn't mean you shouldn't wish someone a good convalescence, right? But but the best beard in the business, Lexis King, was he felt for her. But just a way to get Lexis and Jasmine on the show this week for the most part. Neither of them had a match, but good though to see him in a backstage segment at least. So up next, we had the Good Brothers, or the OC, the Club, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows taking on Ridge Holland and Riley Osborne. This was set up earlier in the evening backstage. The Good Brothers were running down Ridge Holland, saying that he has no friends, no brother to help him and tag with him tonight. And they challenged him to find anyone to team with him this evening, as again, no one really likes him all that much. And he's found some friends in Chase U. Don't know that he's an official enrolled member of Chase U yet, but he did end up teaming with Riley Osborne tonight in what was a pretty solid match. I gotta say, I dig Chase U for the most part. Sometimes their skits and whatnot can be a little silly and a little dragging, but for the most part, I enjoy them. But this has made me more interested in a Ridge Holland storyline. Part of me is just because I wanted to get the hell away from Thea Hale. I don't. It's weird. It's just something about it weirds me out. I don't know why. She just seems so impressionable. But yeah, still hashtag keep Ridge away from Thea. But it's an interesting story they've got going. But they just couldn't get it done. The Good Brothers get the win here in just over 5 minutes due to a miscommunication between Osborne and Holland. And Osborne upset, aghast at the loss. Just another blight on his career and life. And yeah, just a little disagreement there. And we'll touch on this again here in just a little bit. Things end up being okay for our heroes here this evening. But not a win for Chase U and Ridge Hall this evening. The Good Brothers pick up a win down in NXT this evening. All right. So we next had a little highlight package for Carly Bright, who has been featured and wrestled regularly on Level Up, which is the NXT developmental show. So that's the developmental before developmental. The shirt before the shirt for our Jersey Shore fans out there. But they showed a nice highlight package for her, letting the main NXT crowd know who she is and get a little bit of an idea of what she's capable of, which was smart. It's always a good idea to do that. Because again, not a lot of folks probably watching Level Up all that regularly. Missing out though. Some fun matches on there. Friday nights, right after SmackDown on Peacock. But anyway, so up next we had Carly Bright making her NXT main show debut, taking on Lola Vice with her good friend Shayna Baszler at her side. Quick match, 3 minutes, 10 seconds. Lola Vice picks up the win here. I don't want to call it a squash match. because Carly looked good. Oh, Cody looked good. Sorry, Cody looked good. Damn it, I'm throwing off now. Carly looked good in this. Oh God, just the bleach blonde hair. I know it's going to be featuring in my night terrors this evening. The American Nightmare in my night terror. Thank you for that, Mr. Rhodes. But Carly Bright looked good here in defeat. They established, in the story of the match, albeit a short one, that Lola was not taking her seriously in the first going-ons of the match, which worked to Carly's advantage, and she was able to get some offense and get a little shine here. We talk about this a lot, not just on this show, but a lot of Dirt Sheet Radio shows. You can look good in a loss. A loss, a match should do something for both people in it, or all people in it if it's more than two. This made Lola look good. It was a quick, decisive victory for Lola Vice, which is what it should be right now. She's coming off that NXT Underground match. She's on a tear right now. She's going to have a great next few months. She's going to be champion probably here within the next few months, or at least within the next year. She's looking great. And this should have been a win for her. She should have beat the newcomer in Carly Bright. But Carly looked great. This didn't hurt Carly. It made sense that she lost this match. She lost to a much more seasoned wrestler in Lola Vice. She lost to someone who's on a tear in Lola Vice, someone who's being trained by Shayna Baszler in Lola Vice. So it made sense. It was a logical outcome for this. But again, everybody looked good. So really excited to see what Carly Bright will be doing going forward here. And, sound like a broken record week after week, but just NXT has such a phenomenal women's roster. I personally feel it's the best women's roster in professional wrestling today. It's absolutely up for debate, a debate that I'll gladly have. Fun, always, fun disagreement. But yeah, it's fantastic. And it just keeps getting bigger and better. And yeah, it's great that we're getting the North American title. We need that mid-card title for these women. And again, hashtag bring back the NXT women's tag titles. We need those back. Like, it's just the roster is so big and they have so much talent to support that championship gold. And again, I've said this before, I'm not someone who indiscriminately wants new titles added, but they have the talent and the roster to support it. So let's make it happen. We need to make that happen. All right. So after that was the last match we had on the card this evening. They did have some hyping for the main event that occurred after that, and they also hyped the Battleground event that will be taking place at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, which, as we have discussed, is pretty much the UFC PC. So not a huge venue by any stretch of the imagination, but it'll be an interesting change of venue, change of scenery for the show. I'm sure they'll make it feel special. They're making a real big deal about it being at the UFC Apex. So I think that it's certainly something that they're going to go out of their way to make a big deal out of, for sure. Real quick, back to Carly Bright. I will say they got to get her a different entrance theme. It fits the smiley happy character, kind of similar to Alexa Bliss's fairy character she had when she first was going into NXT. But that entrance theme, anybody watching after the show, go to YouTube, just Google her theme. It sounds like something that would play on a pharmaceutical commercial. And for our viewers outside of the United States, it's literally an ad for a pharmaceutical drug. I found out recently that those don't happen in other places in the world, just here. But yeah, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like it should be, voiceovered, telling you about side effects, but how much it's going to help improve your life, and that you should ask your doctor about it the next time you talk to him. But other than that, sky's the limit. Just a couple of other things to touch on before I get into the Jobber of the Night and Megastar of the Night. Where the hell was Roxanne Perez? It's Tuesday night. How am I supposed to How am I supposed to have Tuesday Night Roxy if there's no Roxy? No promo, no mention, no talk about her contender who's going to challenge for her title. Where was Roxanne Perez? If the family was involved with this, I'll find out. I will. But yeah, so that did irk me a little bit. She is the champion. There should be some appearance. Trick Williams, had a brief appearance, stopping interference in Javon Evans's match. But even that, I thought was not enough for Trick. I feel like you gotta don't put him in a match every week. Obviously, that's fine. You're the your respective world champion. But you should have at least some sort of promo, something like. But hey, it's a 2-hour show. They jam a lot in for 2 hours, and Sean does a great job of juggling a lot of stories and a lot of angles on this. And so, hey, hats off to the Heartbreak Kid week in and week out for booking a compelling 2 hours of wrestling. And before I give the jobber of the night, because the jobber of the night is certainly someone that would stink up the joint, that would bring a foul odor to the place. I want to talk about Monk.com. Monk.com, promo DSR10. Get yourself some savings there. Get some aromatherapy. Bring some good sense into your life. Even when you have to see someone like Rich Holland, you can still smell lovely things in your home. Make it smell like a tropical vacation, even if you live in Ohio like I do. Monk.com, promo DSR10. But tonight, my jobber of the night is not Rich Holland. Tonight, my jobber of the night is actually Oro Mensah. As I said earlier, I feel like Oro is just really getting defined down as a fall guy here. And I understand somebody has to lose. I get that. Somebody has to lose. And it kind of feels like they may have done this angle so Noam Dar didn't have to take the loss. But Oro just loses week in and week out. It's like Shinsuke Nakamura up on the main roster. Recently drafted to SmackDown from Raw, but if you saw him in a singles match or starting a feud, you knew he wasn't going to win it. No chance. Like proverbial snowball's chance in hell. It's not going to happen. And again, the match was great. And Oro's talented. He's good in the ring. He's got a fun character. The Metaphor as a group are a blast to watch, but it's looking like there, might be some fracturing there for them. But yeah, so unfortunately, I got to give it to Oro, though. Just perpetually losing. The outcome. And again, Javon Evans should win the match. He shouldn't be losing. But, you've got talent that you don't showcase on NXT on a weekly basis. Again, like someone like a Carly Bright. You can use talent like that to do these jobs, to introduce them slowly. Not everyone has to be introduced with a lot of fanfare. It could be like, hey, they were doing well on Level Up. They get this match on NXT. They lose. They go back to Level Up for a while. When they're actually ready to be presented on NXT regularly, you bring them up then. But I digress. But we will move from the jobber of the night to my megastar of the night, John.
1 second. I thought I wanted to show you something really funny that Thea Hale posted on Instagram, because it goes entirely against what we're hoping for from this storyline. As a matter of fact,
oh no,
it worries me. Jobber of the night might be Thea Hale.
You know what? Thea Hale's judgment in human being. Damn it.
Her caption is, I trust him. So that's funny. It's very funny.
Oh, man. So if given the choice between Rich Holland and a bear.
Oh, no. Rich Holland defeated the bear? This is ridiculous.
I'm sure. Well, actually, the issue is the bear is going to be out for like 6 to 14 weeks.
Okay. He dropped the bear on his neck.
Yeah. So Bryan Danielson's going to be pissed.
Oh, God. Bryan Danielson and PETA? That's the last two people you want.
They're all over it. No, it's bad. Well, that's alarming and just disappointing. This is all because Riley Osborne and her didn't work out. Like, this is your fault, Riley. Damn it. And by the way, get a better name than Riley Osborne. Pretty sure I went to high school with a Riley Osborne. Anyway. But yeah, well, okay. So, I'm going to share Thea Hale's judgment also in Jobber of the Night. But we'll move on to happier things. The mega star of the night. This came down to two people, and I could not make the decision. And since I ended up having to give the Jobber of the Night to two people, I'll go ahead and give the mega star of the night to two people. First, Ruca. Ruca, week in and week out, just looks amazing in the ring. Great presentation. She has a unique presentation. I like the surfer character and gimmick. It's fun. She does it well. She's just so damn athletic in the ring. She's believable in the ring. And the people are behind her. And, looks great. And I'm torn. Once we see who the 6 women in that ladder match are, I'll try to make my official determination as to whom I think will win the North American Championship, the inaugural Women's North American Championship. But I gotta say, Soul is definitely in my top 3 right now for certain, and it just looks great every week. And I'm glad she's improving so quickly and getting so good so fast, but I always get a little nervous because I don't want to see him gone. I don't want to see him disappear. So I hope she's got a good long while down there. And, we just had our round of drafts, so hopefully we've got at least a year before we really have to worry about losing someone to the main roster. But yeah, Sol Ruca is definitely one of my mega stars. And the other, up and comer, Javon Evans, the young OG, Javon Evans. Look, I don't know if there's folks that, watch these shows to catch up on what they missed. If you didn't see NXT tonight and you're listening to this or watching this to, catch up on what happened, go watch the match. Go watch him. Like, he is just a joy and a pleasure to watch in the ring. Like I said, it's unreal how he moves in the ring. Like I said, he does not jump, he does not leap, he floats, he flies, he defies gravity. It's absolutely outstanding. It's been mentioned on the show before. I think John said it. Just the only thing is, hopefully, it's not too much too fast for him being so young, and they can keep a good head on his shoulders down there and guide him right. But he just has so much raw talent and just like I said about Soul, just so much just athletic skill and just I don't know. I'd like to know what his vertical leap is. You always heard that AJ Styles had a 6-foot vertical leap in his prime where he could jump right up onto a dumpster or some shit like that. I want to know what just standing Javon Evans' vertical leap is. It's got to be pretty fucking outstanding. Personally, I've got the vertical leap of a guinea pig or something, but yeah, I would love to know that. If anybody has that information, if somehow can find that out, let's tweet him. Well, maybe we'll do it that way. Dirt Sheet Radio wants to know, Javon. Come on the air and tell us. Come on the air and show us. We'll compare leaps. You can watch me break my ankle in the process. But Javon Evans, my other mega star of the night. Oh, fuck. Like I said, he's the man Gravity forgot. Gravity was never even introduced to Javon Evans. He doesn't know he was born. He's never seen the birth certificate. He doesn't believe the man even exists. It's like a cryptid to him. The way some people view Bigfoot or the Chupacabra is how Gravity views Javon Evans. And you can tell it's getting late here in parts unknown Ohio because I'm invoking the name of the Chupacabra and Sasquatch. But hey, before we get going off the air, just a few things I want to tell the fine folks at home about. I tell you about Delphin Pod, our original podcast home and partner. Delphin Pod shows available, podcast of all types and varieties there. Check it out. And of course, Dirt Sheet Radio, the delicious nougaty wrestling center right there for you to check out every week. Also, the major issue show every single Thursday. It has been anime all May long, and it's continuing on. So go check that out. As I said last night and all the time, always a blast, always a lot of fun information, comic books, pop culture, all throughout the history of comics. And like I said, it's anime, so kind of theme month going on. Check it out. Lots of fun there. Let's see here. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Am I missing anything? Oh my God, shop DSR at our Shopify store. Lots of fun stuff out there. Check it out. Go there right now. Well, not like right this second. Let us finish up the show and then go. Check out Shop DSR. Folks, and I, myself, am Tyler, the pro wrestling hipster, flying solo tonight again. CJ, hopefully we can get the internet debacle figured out there. That Canadian internet, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if it's just like, it's May, so maybe it's still ice. I don't know. Maybe a moose chewed the cables. I don't know. But we'll get CJ back on next week.
It's a monkey paw situation. You get great health care, bad internet. It is what it is.
Oh, so that makes sense. My internet's so solid here because I have access to biscuits and gravy.
Exactly.
Okay. This makes complete sense.
It's because we get advertisements for our psychological medication.
Yep. To music that Soul Ruca comes to the ring too. But you can catch me here, the Pro Wrestling Hipster, every Tuesday night, typically with CJ, breaking down NXT, talking about all the fun every Tuesday night. Also here on Monday nights with Caesar, breaking down Raw. For all you fine folks at home, always having a good time there. And typically for PLEs, coming up here, obviously a week from Saturday, we will have the King and Queen of the Ring coming to you from Saudi Arabia. So it'll be our next PLE post show coming up there. And then that's actually, oh my God, John, is that a double weekend?
Yes.
Oh Lord.
The weekend.
Oh man.
The week next
we got double or nothing.
Weekend we will have literally double or nothing. As we will have, I think, 7 streams that week. So fun times ahead.
So
8 streams,
like WrestleMania
actually.
Week. It's gonna be like WrestleMania week all over again.
Almost. And thankfully we don't double up on shows in the same day, which is the big wrestling. I was like, God damn it. But
thank you, AEW, for doing your pay-per-views on Sunday nights like a traditional wrestling company.
WWE is apparently going back to Sunday nights.
Is that because of because UFC likes to do their shit on Saturdays?
They want to bundle these events now to the arena, to the cities or whatever. The way Dana White explained it is it would be a power slap on Friday, a UFC on Saturday, and a WWE on Sunday. So he's just kind of sneaking power slap up in there.
Much like Fetch, he needs to quit trying to make power slap happen.
It's ridiculous. But yes, next week, all week long, Monday, Raw, Tuesday, NXT, Wednesday, Dynamite, Thursday, Impact, Friday, SmackDown, Saturday, King and Queen of the Ring, Sunday, AEW's Double or Nothing. We will have streams live 8 fucking times in a 7-day week. That is how Dershi Radio gets down. So make sure you join us.
Non-stop. But please do join us all the time. Like John said, every night of the week, and that's going to be a crazy week here coming up in just a couple weeks. And we'll remind you, don't worry, we'll bring it up several times. We like to make sure that all you fine folks out there know what we're doing. And we'll thank you guys all for tuning in tonight. Molly Holly here says thank you. And hey, we'll catch you guys next week live. And hopefully I'll have CJ with me. We'll see you guys next week. Whoop that trick.